Hi, East Hills and the Grove. My name is Anna Milligan, and I'm back. For some of you that know me, I work with Youth with a Mission in Battambang, Cambodia. I've been there for the last 10 years and started a cafe ministry, Business as Missions, and a lot of people in this church have helped support that. My brother is Matt Milligan. He leads a lot of times worship at East Hills, and this church, East Hills, actually used to pray for me when I was a 5-year-old girl in Indonesia, and so it just shows how, as you continue to pray for people, who knows what the kids will become later on in life. And so I'm back to share a little bit about what's been going on in Cambodia. Something I would love to share is actually just recently we started at the cafe an Alpha program, and for those who don't know what Alpha is a way that you provide a meal and you watch videos and you have topics to discuss, and it is a way to connect with people that don't know Jesus yet, and as well as draw us closer to the Lord. And so it's an exciting thing. It's something that we do in America, but we realize that because Cambodians are so relational, doing Alpha in Cambodia has actually been incredible, because you go and you have a meal and everything is translated into the Khmer language, and they get to talk about God, their thoughts on God, their opinions, and it builds them closer together and creates an opportunity for discipleship. So that's something that is happening in our cafe, which is really exciting. We have our first group of 8 that have decided to join it, and so they meet on our day off on Tuesday, and it's been going really, really well. Another thing I wanted to share of just kind of what's happening in the ministry of Battambang is realizing more and more in Asia that there's a lot of loneliness, there's a lot of depression, and especially in the newer generation, everyone does it on Facebook. They do it through the internet. And so a couple years ago, we had a girl that had worked with us previously that had committed suicide. And it was really hard on our staff to heal from that, because, we started to take the blame. Should I have done something? Should I have noticed? And then a couple years later, there was a girl that had worked at the cafe previously that she had been raped and tried to commit suicide after that because of the shame. A lot of times women take it on themselves that it was their fault somehow. And so what happened recently is there was a boy that was working at the cafe, and he actually used to be a part of our Christian group and started working at the cafe so that he could finish university. And he wrote something on Facebook. I was in Thailand at the time, and it said, "I finally understand why people want to commit suicide." And then he quit talking to us. And so I'm in Thailand, and I'm trying to figure out, how do I get a hold of him? Where is he? I can't get a hold of him. And there are all these people on Facebook writing, "Oh, I'm sorry, brother, I'm praying for you." And I'm sitting there pulling out my hair, because I think, you are in the same city. You're 5 minutes from his house. Get off of your phone and go find him. Be that true brother that you are saying you are. And so I finally got my staff at Eden. I said, "Can you find him? I don't care if you go to his village and you take your phone and you have a picture of him, but you need to find him and see if he's okay." And so I was waiting patiently in Thailand, and I finally got a phone call that said, "We found him, he's okay." He had had some struggles, and it was just really hurting his heart, some things that were going on, and he just needed time to cool down. But as soon as I got home, I ended up meeting with him, and I said, "Hey bud, what's going on?" And we had conversation. And he said, "Anna, I know who the Lord is, but there are times that I'm just so sad and I don't know how to deal with my emotions." And so we spent a couple hours just talking through things. And I said, "Next time you start to have those feelings, I want you to message me. I want you to call me. I will be there in a heartbeat." And so it was really neat, because a couple weeks later, I get a message at night, and it said, "Anna, I just finished my day and I'm crying, and I don't know why. I'm trying to go to bed and I just can't stop crying." And I said, did something happen in your day? And he said, no, but I just can't stop crying. This sadness is overflowing into my mind, into my heart. And so I was able to say, hey, I want you to read the Word. I want you to read the Bible. And I gave him different verses to read, and I prayed for him. I said, do you want me to come over? No. I'll just read these things. And we talked about putting on the armor of Christ, because so often we forget to put on that armor, because Satan wants to attack. He wants to destroy. He wants to ruin this kid. And so he started doing that. He started reading that. He started praying every night. And part of it is at the end of the day, right before we go to sleep, is when all of a sudden we stop with technology, we stop with talking with people, and all of a sudden everything that we've been pushing off comes flooding back. And so it was really neat to be able to take time to disciple him and speak into his life and see that he was listening, that instead of sending something out on Facebook, he would find someone and call them and connect with them. But a couple days later after this happened, I met with a bunch of the Christians that had been sending messages, and I just said, hey guys, I know that your hearts are in the right place, but we need to get off our phones and we need to be relational. We need to connect with people one-on-one. We need to see each other physically. And I said, I just want to encourage you to do that. And so often I see the same thing in my life where we say, hey, I'll pray for you. And then so often we forget to pray. You know, I say that to so many people and then I'm convicted later. So I want to encourage all of us to be relational. I need it just as much as the next person is, to remember to tell them the things that I see in them, to encourage them, to pray for them. And so this is something that is happening in Cambodia, but it's also, it's cool to see different people rise up and see them overcome this spirit of loneliness, this spirit of depression, this spirit of suicide, and seeing someone actually see Satan be defeated and see Jesus be glorified. So I know it's a little bit of a sad story, so I'm going to end on a really happy story. The other day I was coming home and some customers saw me and they said, hey, are you that Eden girl? And I said, yeah, I have the cafe. And they said, can I tell you something that happened? And I'm thinking, oh no, something happened at the cafe, bad food or something. And they said, you know, we were there yesterday and it was wonderful. And I said, oh, that's great. And they said, and a couple hours later we left and one of my friends had lost a $100 bill. And he didn't know where he lost it. It was cash, so we just assumed it was gone. But then today we came back, and as we walked into Cafe Eden, one of your staff came up and said, are you missing a $100 bill? And I don't know about you, but normally when it's not ID, when it's not a credit card, it's cash, there's no name on it. And so it's really easy to just take it. And the thing is, in Cambodia, $100 is over half their salary. And there is a lot of people that need that money. But I love the integrity of the staff, that they saw the money, that they remembered the person, and that they brought it back to them, that temptation, they decided to rise above it. But the thing that I loved next is, as they're telling me this, how blown away they were that our staff did this. They said, you know, one of my favorite things is you have, for all your staff that are brand new staff, you have these shirts where it says server in training. And we do that so that people are a little bit more gentle with them. So if they make mistakes, people understand. And he said, you know, so one of your girls that had one of those shirts on had made a mistake. It was no big deal. But your manager came over, another Cambodian, and as she walked back to the back of the cafe, she put her arm around her. She put her arm around the girl in training and whispered and taught her gently and kindly. And these are three men that are not believers. But what they saw is what God does with us every day, is that he walks with us gently. He teaches us. He doesn't shame us in front of people, but he teaches and molds, and he continues to create a new heart within us. And I just was really proud of what God is doing in that place. So that's just a short update. Thank you so much for your prayers, and all of your questions, and I love coming back and getting to share. Thank you so much. Bye.